The best thing about Joe is...
My favourite thing about Mary is...
he has kind eyes.
She makes me laugh. She has a wicked sense of humour.
And I never have to wonder what he's thinking. He's always completely honest with me.
She has absolutely zero chill. Like, whatever she's passionate about, she's 100% on board for.
I first told him I loved him by accident. We met like 10 days before. We were just hanging out. And I'd put my glasses down. I was looking for them. And before I could even turn around, there he was holding them out to me. And I just blurted out, "Oh, thanks. I love you." I was absolutely mortified. But it was alright. He just smiled and said, "It's okay. I love you too."
And I did. I knew that I had to marry that girl as soon as possible. You meet the perfect person and you can't let them get away.
Which made everything a lot harder when I got some news.
Yeah, that was a bad day.
I found out I was pregnant through unconventional means. You probably already know about all that, so I don't need to go into details. I'm tired of the funny looks I get when I tell that story. But the hardest thing about it wasn't saying yes, it was telling Joe.
I didn't handle that as well as I could have.
When I told him, he obviously didn't believe me. He didn't shout or scream or get angry. He just went really cold and quiet.
It was like being punched in the gut, but then having the rug pulled from under your feet at the same time. Like, you're in a lot of pain, but you're also totally disorientated. You don't know up from down.
Have you ever had that thing where you see a wall go up in front of someone who used to love you? Like, you no longer have access to that private part of them.
I said some things I shouldn't have.
And that would have been the end of it if he hadn't had his own messenger experience.
I was at home, alone, when this thing came to visit me, and it didn't come in through the front door. No. It took apart the wall, brick by brick, and then it floated in this ball of burning light.
He was having a dream.
The ground started shaking, roof tiles fell off the ceiling, like that.
It was a very vivid dream.
And then this thing said to me, first of all, he said, "Don't be afraid." Then said, "Take Mary as your wife. What's conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit."
Cut a long story short, he came back and apologised. I took him back because, look at that face. But I was really scared about the whole thing, to be honest.
I think we both were just a bit freaked out.
Like, what if I drop him? Or spill hot tea on him? I can't scold the Son of God.
Can I tell him off? Will I get struck by lightning if I tell him no?
The main thing I was worried about was, what if he gets here and I don't love him the way I should? I've never really thought of myself as the maternal type, to be honest, and it's such a massive responsibility.
So, we get married, and it's all going so well, until the government decide that they want a big census. No big deal, right?
Until it turns out, for whatever half-baked bureaucratic nonsense, we have to be registered in the town of our birth. Getting a woman 38 weeks pregnant off the sofa is a big ask. Whoever decided a 90-mile road trip was a good idea.
We set off. And I booked a place on TripAdvisor, but let's just say it wasn't exactly as advertised.
We got there, and the place was a tip. We rang around, but nowhere else was free. And then, don't know if it was the long journey or the stress, but I suddenly felt a warm trickling down my leg.
Her water broke right there. And the problem was, all the roads were absolutely rammed.
So I had a choice. Give birth in a traffic jam, or do it here. I went for the lesser of two evils.
Have you ever seen a woman give birth? That is a singular experience. Like, Mary was pushing so hard that the veins in her lips started popping out and she started turning purple at one point.
Yeah, that was tough.
Halfway through it, she turns to me and says, "Are you okay? Am I okay?" This mental thing's happening to her. And then she thinks to turn to me and asked me how I'm doing. Honestly, mate, I couldn't have loved her any more in that moment if I tried. And then, all of a sudden, he was here. This baby. He had a look on his face as if to say, what on earth is going on here?
I think I was hoping for some big revelation, be overcome with love or something, but I think I was too mentally and physically exhausted to feel anything. It wasn't like that for Joe, though. He was bawling his eyes out.
I think I'd just been trying to hold it together for so long. I knew that if I got stressed, then she'd get stressed, and well, that's not good for her or the baby. But I knew that when I'm holding in my arms, that at least for now, he's safe and she's safe and we'll all be okay. I think I just cried with relief, to be honest.
It took me a while, I think. I didn't know how I felt about him at first. But then one night, I was just looking at him, and the words, "I love you. I really love you," just blurted out. And I did. And I do.
Like, I know he's not mine biologically, but he feels like mine. I made sure I legally adopted him because, as far as I'm concerned, he's mine in every way that matters. Honestly, mate, I wouldn't have it any other way.